Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Happy Saturday. With it being Saturday once again, that means it's time for another episode of Ye Olde Weekly Home Fragrance Roundup. If you are new around here, this is a long-running series where I just chit-chat about all of the home fragrance that I was using around the house over the course of the past week. So what I was burning, what I was melting, what I was crocking, and what I was lamping. I do all of this alongside my trusty assistant Alf, who is my pug. He likes to nap in my lap while I'm filming, so he is already, let me see if I can give you guys a shot of him. Yeah, he's already here in my lap, so he's just gonna take his little afternoon snooze while I talk at the camera. And that means that if you are lucky enough to be wearing some earbuds, you might be hearing some snoozing or snoring or who knows what else in the background. And that is what it is like to live with a pug. They're just noisy little creatures, and he likes to share his pug ASMR with all of you. So let us all thank Alf for his service. Anyway, hope you guys had a really great week. Had a good week myself. Definitely got in some decent burning this week and melting as well. So we have a lot to discuss. Before we get into it, the usual disclaimer, check out the description box. Lots of links down there. Links to where you can find the different things that I am showing you here. There's some discount codes. There is some candle sale information for the current weekend. Yeah, there's plethora of information down there. There's also some home fragrance related content that I always link in these weekly videos. So if you are newer to the home fragrance world and you don't know what a candle crock or a candle lamp is, I have some videos regarding those things in the description box, so feel free to check that stuff out if you are interested. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. And of course, we're gonna start where we always do, which is just with a little tour of what's currently happening around the house. So let's go on a little walk and see what it smells in here right now. So let's hop to it. All right, burning here on the kitchen island is Cringle Candle Boo Hoo, which is from the Boo Crew collection, which was a new collection for Halloween this year. Really love this particular fragrance. It's a really nice, interesting, slightly spicy gourmand. So this has a really nice like vanilla creaminess. It's got some peppercorn. There's some cardamom here, a little bit of chestnut. It's honestly a really beautiful fragrance. Slightly sweet, but definitely not cloying. Just really well done. I have honestly been burning this one quite a bit this week. I have about, I would say, I don't know, maybe like a third of the candle left at this point. So I anticipate that I'm probably going to be finishing this one up next week, and I will definitely miss it when I'm done with it. This is one of the fragrances that I hope to be repurchasing when Cringle brings the Boo Crew back. By the way, they are in the process right now of pouring more of those candles, so they should be available shortly. As soon as I find out a release date, I will of course let you guys know. There are a couple fragrances that are not going to be repoured, and I believe Bobbing for Apples and Howl at the Moon are two that are not being repoured. I'm not sure why, but I don't think those two are going to be coming back. But all of the other fragrances and these original labels will be returning again. So anyway, if you're curious about the update, that is what it is as of right now. Over here in the corner, I am melting HomeWorx sugared beignets. I recently received this 3-wick hobnail in PR from HomeWorx, and I lit it up, and honestly, it was really light, when I was burning it, and I really do enjoy this fragrance. And so I thought I might be able to get some more oomph out of it by putting it underneath a candle lamp. And that was indeed the right decision for this one. I'm not sure why this one is stronger melting versus burning, but it is a really lovely background scent here in the kitchen. It actually goes quite well with the Boohoo that I'm currently burning on the island. So if you're thinking about getting this version of sugar beignets, I will just warn you, this one here was very light, but if you're okay with melting it, I would say the strength from melting it is about somewhere between a 6 and a 7. The throw is a little bit lessened. I would put the throw probably at more of like a 4 or a 5. Listen, when I have any candle under the lamp here in the kitchen, this particular location is kind of tucked into this, here, I'll try to give you a visual. It's like a really small area between my fridge over here and then my oven over here. So it's kind of tucked back, and it's in the back part of the kitchen here. Sorry, Alf, you gotta move, buddy. So it really doesn't allow this fragrance to get too far out past the kitchen because of where I have it placed. That's fine. My intention with this lamp is to specifically have whatever candle I have under here be a background scent for whatever I'm burning in the kitchen. Otherwise, I typically do gourmands in here, so this is a great location for a candle that otherwise wouldn't behave. So anyway, let's move on. I feel like Penny hasn't popped into a video in a little while here, so here's Penny. How you doing, girl? You exhausted? Oh my God, you guys, she's completely worn out. I'm not sure from what, but she's exhausted. Unlike her brother, who is always busy and who has all of the energy, right? And you're so cute. All right, let's talk about this candle over here. Sorry, gonna move you guys. Let's get you situated. All right, so I think I have to extinguish this. This candle has only been lit for like 2.5 hours. Do you see those flames? These are crazy. This is Bath & Body Works Apple Crisp. Look at this wax pool. Max 2 hours, no more than 2 hours. Are you ready for it? I can see the gosh darn wick clips. This is, the candle's only about at the halfway point, maybe a little bit below halfway, but that is a completely liquefied wax pool there. Holy cannoli. Okay, there they are, the delightful tree stump wicks that we all know and love. Well, I don't know. I think some people do love these wicks. I don't, just because they do stuff like this. They either dud out or they will make the candle burn so incredibly hot that, like, I don't know, I feel like this is gonna melt my TV. Like even the holder is warm. Hold on, I'm gonna, you know what? Let's do this. There we go. We're gonna let that extinguish there because that is way too hot. So anyway, great fragrance though. I do love this year's version. I think this is actually better than the first version of Apple Crisp that I tried during a previous year, but it's burning so dang hot, you guys. That is, like, I should not be almost burning my fingers by touching the holder. So yeah, be careful with this one if you happen to have it. But it's a really great, delicious, amazing version. Just maybe limit the burn on this one. Holy cannoli. Let's move on. Welcome to the laundry room where I keep my downstairs candle crock. So in here I have the last half of the Cringle Candle Boo Crew Ghost Stories fragrance. Hey buddy, stop with the licks. Sorry, if you hear licking in the background, Alf he's just licking the air. I don't know, it's a pug thing. Anyway, this is a really great fragrance. I would compare this to a slightly smokier and slightly woodier marshmallow fireside type fragrance. There's some juniper in here that really comes across beautifully to my nose. This is just, it's a great fragrance. Like I said, the comparison that I would make is somewhat similar to Marshmallow Fireside. So this is one of the fragrances that will be coming back. Is it unique enough to pick up? Maybe. I mean, you'll obviously have to make that decision yourself. But if you typically are a fan of Marshmallow Fireside, and you're looking for maybe a slightly less sweet version of that with a couple of other interesting aspects, this one might be worth considering for you. I've really enjoyed it. I'll definitely grab another one when the restock happens. So yeah, I like this one. I think it's a great scent. I am a little bummed, you know, that obviously when I put my candles into the Crocs that I can't see the labels. This one did have a really cute label on it. Honestly, all the labels were adorable for this collection, but yeah, it's working out as a great, just continuous background fragrance. I anticipate that this will be in here for at least a couple weeks, potentially a couple extra days beyond that. So yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy it and just buy more of it when they release it. All right, let's move upstairs. Welcome to my master bedroom. Sorry if you can hear the lawnmower in the background. My neighbor Mike is on lawn duty, so we're just gonna let him do his thing. All right. In the candle crock in here is a little bit of a mistake. So this is another Cringle Candle Boo Crew fragrance. This one is Scary Movie Night. And once again, I was just looking for a background fragrance to pop into the crock here in the master bedroom. And I really liked this one burning. It was, to my nose, a mix of like buttered popcorn and kettle corn. I got both of those aspects and I really liked it burning. You guys, when I put this into the candle crock, all I got was buttered popcorn, 100% buttered popcorn. And honestly, I have not been enjoying the experience at all. And even Craig was like, why does it smell like microwave popcorn in here? He knew the answer. And so I was just like, I got a candle in there. And he was like, okay, it smells like a movie theater. And I was like, yeah, it does. I know. I think I have to turn this off, you guys, and it's a huge regret because this was so much better burning than it is melting, but now I can't light it up again because I put it in the candle crock and the wick clips have dislodged and I don't know. I mean, I do have some other wicks for these patio candles that I make. I could maybe pour this wax into an empty jar, you know, just glue some new wicks into the bottom of another jar but I'm not, listen, I messed this up and I think it's just one of those, like, I just got to cut my losses at this point. I really have to turn this off. It's too intense, too buttery, too just, I don't know. I don't want my house to necessarily smell like a movie theater. I definitely enjoyed the mix of the kettle corn with the popcorn or just buttered popcorn, but straight up buttered popcorn it's not really to my liking. So my bad. Usually I would say, like, seriously, more times than not, I really enjoy the melting experience just as much as the like burn experience. But this is one of those cases where that is absolutely not the case. Also, while we're here, I'm just gonna like scooch you guys over to the other side of the room. Over there on that dresser of mine is the Cringle Candle. Is it Fog and Embers? I think it's Fog and Embers. Anyway, can we zoom in? Yeah, it's right there. Anyway, I've been burning that in the evenings here to try to cover up the buttered popcorn scent, and luckily that is definitely strong enough to kind of overtake the buttered popcorn corner over here. But yeah, anyway, just make sure that you're like that you can be committed to melting a candle and that it's not gonna, I guess, change too much. But anyway, let's move on. We're now in the back bedroom of the house here, and this is the last candle crock that I am using this week. And in here is my beloved Yankee candle pumpkin wreath. It's an absolute delight. This is the old paraffin formulation, which is why I'm melting it versus burning it. Because this was a brand new candle when I put it in here, I'm gonna get like a solid 3 weeks out of this one. So you'll be seeing this one again next week. So get used to her. I really wish Yankee would bring this one back in the new formulation, because raise your hand if you also love this fragrance. It's really nice. It's a little bit more masculine in terms of a fall pumpkin scent, but such a good one. This is a really, really good one. So, hey, Yankee, if you're listening, please bring this back. It's an absolute delight. All right, let's move back downstairs. Hope you guys enjoyed that little tour of what's currently happening around the house. How about that apple crisp? Whoa, right? That was burning so hot. Those like thick tree stump, rope-like, whatever you want to call them, type wicks are so intense. I really wish that Bath and Body Works would find an alternative for those wicks. I know that different fragrances require different sizes of wicks, but I feel like they could, I don't know. Listen, so the wicks that are on this Acorn Lane here, like these are the best wicks that I think Bath and Body Works offers. And they're these like thinner ones, right? Like these thinner wicks that just, I mean, they definitely get a good solid like flame going, but I don't feel like they burn crazy hot. Like they get the job done. Like this is a great fragrance with absolutely fantastic strength and throw, and it doesn't need those insane thick wicks to like create that amazing strength and throw. By the way, the Bath and Body Works candle sale this weekend is $13.95, and I just saw that I had another 20% off coupon, and what I think I might do is pick up a couple more of these this weekend. I fell in love with this fragrance, you guys. This is absolutely phenomenal. I think that I might actually like this better than the Cozy Sunday Night. Is that what it's called? Cozy Sunday Night? Is that name right? That doesn't sound right to me right now, but I feel like that's the name of it. Anyway, I think I actually like this better than that one, and I fell in love with that too. So anyway, I want to burn this from now until basically after the holidays. So even though this is definitely a very fall-like label, for the holidays, what I might do is just peel. I mean, these labels are really easy to get off. They're basically just shrink wrapped on. So maybe I'll just take the labels off and enjoy the creamy white wax, because look at this burn. What an amazing burn. Wait, how did we start here? I don't know. Anyway, oh, I was talking about the wicks on that apple crisp. Yeah, just nuts. Anyway, let's start with the, we totally just started with that, but let's backtrack a little bit and let's talk about my one candle empty for the week. So there was only one this week, and it was the Honeycrisp Hayride. Listen, I was trying to like really pace myself with this one because I love it so much, but what I think I might do is just also maybe pick up one more of these this weekend as well. This was so good, you guys. I really like this fragrance. Now, what's interesting is that in my review, there were some people that stated that they got the weird kind of either perfumey or kerosene type vibe from this apple scent. I don't know what it is about certain apple scents, and it's not every scent for every person, but for example, with the Cringle Bobbing for Apples from the Boot Crew collection, because we were just talking all about the Boot Crew collection here earlier, but so that particular apple scent to my nose got this weird like kerosene, like it's almost like a chemical type smell. And I think it's specifically the apple note that they used that made it smell that way to my nose. What was interesting was when I put that one into the candle crock, I smelled the yummy, juicy apple note that everybody else got from that one, but I did not smell that when that one was burning. I got that weird, like, chemical kerosene type note that I also smelled in Bath and Body Works apple flower like 10 years ago, right? Like, there's just something about, I feel like, apple oils, like in terms of like the home fragrance oils that they use to blend these scents. I feel like there are certain oils that just react funky with the flame to certain noses, and it just happens. Anyway, that did not happen for me with this one. I just smelled mostly a really juicy, really perfect, really delicious, like Honeycrisp sweet apple. This was amazing. I loved it so much. So I definitely want more. And I will say, you guys, this had a great burn, and I was really surprised by that because this also had the thick wicks. But look, this is one that I actually was able to burn completely. Didn't put it in the crock. Was kind of tempted to put it in the crock to like enjoy more time with it because, you know, I would have been able to get several days out of the wax that I had left in the crock versus just like maybe a day or two of burning, maybe. So yeah, anyway, I think the moral of the story is that I just have to get another one of these. And hopefully the second one that I get performs like this first one. We'll see. So that was my one empty for this week. And since we're on Bath and Body Works, we've already discussed it, but let me just reiterate my love for this fragrance. Have you smelled this? This Acorn Lane? Ooh, that's so good. It just is so cozy. It's perfectly nutty. This is so good, you guys. I cannot get enough of this. I just love it. Yeah, I'll be getting more of that. What other candles? Let's talk Voluspa. I finally reviewed her, and I am officially at the halfway point. You guys, I'm almost halfway done with this one already. This is the amazing spiced pumpkin latte from Voluspa. If you're not familiar with the scent, I just reviewed it, so you can go check that video out. This is just a little bit different from a lot of the typical pumpkin spice scents. It's not overly sweet. It smells a lot more elevated. It's a beautiful burn experience. Voluspa uses coconut wax. If you're not familiar, Voluspa candles are made right here in the US of A. These guys are based out of California, and they actually hand pour all of their candles in California. So those of you that really like the whole like made in America thing, like these candles, they're made in California. So I've always had a really great experience with Voluspa, but I will say that their like their 1-wick candle jars or their just 2-wick candle jars, those don't really give me enough oomph. I prefer the 3-wick tins, this 3-wick size, and their mega hearth size. Those are the sizes that I typically go for. If I know that I'm going to absolutely fall in love with a fragrance, like this one, for example, I will get the large 3-wick, or if I'm really in love, and this is what's gonna happen next fall, is I'm gonna buy the hearth size of this one, because then I will have it for multiple seasons, and that's honestly, for me, probably a lot more cost effective to just buy the big Mama Jama, especially because I usually only buy the hearth candles when they're on sale. I try to get them for 25% off, and the best place to do that is Bloomingdale's, which is where I will typically link Voluspa candles. They have very frequent sales. Their Rakuten cashback is phenomenal, and yeah, they have the best deals, I feel like, that I've found. So anyway, I love this candle. That's the moral of the story here. If you haven't tried this, they're definitely like splurge candles for sure, but if there's something that you really love, you should splurge on it, right? This is how, yeah, this is how you quickly allow a collection to get out of control, is by following advice like that. No, just, but really, truly, like, I definitely have gotten to a point where I'm a little bit more, I think a lot more about what I do purchase, and I try to make really smart decisions. I'm also not in that mindset of like collecting, or I don't want to call it hoarding candles, because I feel like, you know, like I definitely was at a point where outsiders could have looked at my collection and thought, that girl is a hoarder. Like, I definitely see where that like could have come from, but to me, it was just like, it was what I enjoyed at the time, and it didn't overwhelm me back then. But once it did start to overwhelm me, I made some changes and made the situation better for myself, more manageable, and now I feel really good about where my collection is at. Do I have more candles than one person probably should have? Yeah, but I don't know, it's my thing. Why are you licking the air again, buddy? You're so funny. Anyway, moral of the story here is I love this candle. Also, aren't these vessels beautiful? I don't know what I'm gonna reuse this one for, but let me know what you think. Usually these 3 wicks and the hearth sizes, I like using those for hurricanes afterwards. Sorry, I was having a brain fart there. You can clean these out and then put other candles inside of here. For example, a Bath & Body Works 3 wick will totally fit in here. Will it? Am I lying about that? No, it will. It'll fit in here. So anyway, they make great hurricanes after the fact. Or if you want like a cute little garbage can for like the top of your vanity in the bathroom, these are great for that. Just put a little garbage bag in here, and then, you know, put your Q-tips, your whatever else you're using. I don't know, when you're getting ready in the morning, and make that your cute little trash can. I don't know. There's a million things you can do with these vessels. Let's move on. Let's move on to HomeWorx. All right, the first candle. Oh, you guys, this one. I have some regrets about not purchasing more of this when I had the opportunity. I think it was probably earlier this year or late last year. These were still available in sets of 2 from QVC, and I didn't order more. It's the Fig Marmalade, which to my nose is so close to the Bath & Body Works Brown Sugar and Fig. That's one of my favorite fragrances from Bath & Body Works. I wish they would bring it back. So I have 2 of these, and I'm gonna kind of nurse them along, because I don't foresee Harry bringing this one back. I don't know why, but I don't feel like people really like focused on this one, and it was so good. I don't know. I would pay good money to get my hands on more of this. But I also, you know, like, I don't want to go to like Poshmark or Mercari or eBay to get more, because they're always so overpriced. But I do love the scent. I just want Harry to bring this back. Like, I don't want to buy this from a reseller. I want to buy it. HomeWorx, let me give you my money. Bring it back. Bring it to QVC. I don't care. Bring it to QVC. Bring it back in sets of 2. I will purchase it in sets of 2. This is one of those where I would probably make an exception and purchase at least a couple sets of 2. At least. Anyway, we'll nurse that along for a few more weeks here, and then I might save the other one for next fall, or I might just enjoy it, because I don't know, who cares? There's always great candles coming out. So, all right, Spooky Vanilla. I'm actually almost done with this one. I really like this one, you guys. This is good. This is perfectly sweet. You know what it kind of reminds me of? And I didn't say this when I reviewed this, but I feel like it's somewhat similar to the Vanilla Bean Macaron from HomeWorx. There's a note in here that just smells like one that is absolutely in that Vanilla Bean Macaron fragrance. By the way, when HomeWorx brought that one back, what was it, like earlier this year or later last year, They finally had it return, but it was so weak. Like, it was such a letdown. When that fragrance first came out, it was phenomenal. It was such a great, like, strength and throw. I purchased so many of those from Ulta because there was one point where Ulta had them on sale for, like, I think it was like $12.50 each or something, and I just kind of went ham at that point. So I had a number of them on backup, but I used up all of my backups. So, but that was a great scent. You should bring that back. HomeWorx, if you're listening. But this is perfectly sweet. I have really enjoyed this one, and it has had a fantastic burn. I wish that we could get this style, this faceted glass jar, in a 4-wick version though. I know there are people that like the 3-wick, and you know, HomeWorx should have options for everybody, but I really do prefer the 4-wick format. And I think that just has to do with the fact that the 4-wicks just perform better in the style of house that I have, which is a little bit more open concept. We have crazy high ceilings in the downstairs. So yeah, 4-wicks typically do better for me from HomeWorx, but this one actually performed pretty darn well. So I've got maybe like a couple burns left in that one, so we'll finish it up probably this next week. Also from HomeWorx, I bought this last year when the whole like Elton John collection was released, and I got it and I didn't love it on cold sniff, and so I never burned it last year. It was the Gilded Pomander from the Elton John collection. You guys remember this one? And so I just left it. Like, I literally left it in the box in my office for months, like months. And finally this summer, I was like, oh, I should just put it away. I'm not gonna send it back at this point. It was way too late to send it back. And so I was like, maybe I'll burn it this fall or winter, and you know, I'll review it at that point. I don't know if it's gonna be available again. But I actually liked it a lot better once I revisited it earlier this week in the candle closet. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and bust it out, and I'm gonna start burning it. And I do like it better this year. I don't know what rubbed me the wrong way when I first got it in the mail. But yeah, I didn't care for it. But now I'm a little bit more okay with it. But I will say, it's had a little bit of a tricky burn. I've done a couple burns now, and there's just one side that just refuses to like melt. So yeah, I think the next time that I burn this, this does get soft over here, so I may just like pluck this out so that hopefully it can maybe get like a completely even wax pool after that. I don't know, we'll see what happens. But this is, we all know I love an orange pomander. That is one of my staples during the holidays, but I feel like this is a slightly like earthier take on an orange pomander. It's not patchouli that I'm smelling or anything like that, but I think it might be the amount of clove in here, and also there is eucalyptus, and I do think that I can smell a little bit of the eucalyptus. And if you have been here for any amount of time, you know of my complete disgust for this particular fragrance note. And it's only because it reminds me of work. I'm a florist, so I am surrounded by eucalyptus most days of the week because people love it. People love eucalyptus. They think that it is energizing, it is refreshing. But for me, like whenever I smell it, I just automatically think, this just reminds me of work. And I don't know. Listen, I love my job. I am very fortunate to do what I do. I get paid well to do what I do. It's fun. Like I am blessed beyond belief, but it's still work. And I would argue that no matter how much you love your job, it is nice to come home from your job and to just completely detach from that part of your life and not have things reminding you of that, right? So anyway, that's where I'm at with eucalyptus. But Moral of the story here is that there's a lot of clove in this, and I love clove. It's a requirement for a pomander fragrance, but it's just a little heavy on the clove. Do you need to readjust? Okay. Oh, this is what we're doing. Okay. All right, hold on. He like put, oh my gosh, you guys. Is this gonna work? He's just chilling. We're gonna let him chill. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of clove in here, and I prefer my pomander fragrances to be a little juicier, little more emphasis on the bright, juicy orange note versus like a heavy clove, right? And then when you add in that little bit of eucalyptus, it also puts it in iffy territory. But what I will say is that I do like this more now than I did last year. And since I bought it, I might as well use it. Might as well review it, because why not? So once I reach the halfway point, I'll do a formal review of it, just in case they ever bring it back, so that, you know, if you didn't happen to see this video with my opinion on it, you can reference that video. Anyway, I do like the jars. This whole like piano key design that they came up with for this collection, I think is really special. I don't know, I'm a huge Elton John fan, so I really liked this particular collection, and I hope that we see more from these two. All right, I have one more. Sorry, I'm trying to keep him in place here. Oh, hold on, lipstick. Oh, actually, I'm not wearing lipstick. I'm wearing lip gloss, which is why my hair is like sticking to my face. Okay, one more HomeWorx candle and then we'll move on. Dark Harvest. Have you smelled it? If you have not, let me just say, listen, if you're normally like a gourmand person in the fall, I think this is worth taking a chance on. This does have pumpkin in it, but it's a really interesting, more heirloom pumpkin type note. This is deeper, darker. It's not really a sweet fragrance per se, but it's so beautiful. This is the type of fragrance that I feel like I would smell in like a really fancy person's home. Like someone who spent a lot of money on, I don't know, probably expensive suits, or someone who owns a boat. Rich people own boats, right? Anyway, I love that. And if you're looking for a different take on pumpkin, I would highly suggest checking that out. I did just upload a in-depth review of it, so feel free to reference that for all of the notes, but let us move on. Okay, let's talk Cringle and then a couple of luxury candles, and then we'll move into Scentsy. All right. Other Cringle candles that I was enjoying this week. I love this pumpkin oud. Did you get your reserve orders in? What do you think? Do you love the pumpkin oud? I love this. I have officially now reached the halfway point here, and I will be repurchasing this. You guys, this is fantastic. Again, a little different from some of the other pumpkin scents. It's not as overly sweet. It has the sweetness that you do smell is a little bit deeper, darker, more of like a like brown sugary molasses type of sweetness. Really well done. I love this. This is gonna be something that I will absolutely repurchase in the future. And wait until you see. You guys, like, I am almost done with this. I love this fragrance. I'm gaga over this. This will absolutely be repurchased. It's the Ambered Apple and Walnut. Look at this. I am like, I have a quarter of the candle left. I could not stop burning this one. It's that green apple. I just feel like the green apple is so special in this particular scent. It's really well done. There's a nice nuttiness here. It's perfect. It's perfect. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, other candles that I was burning. Howl at the Moon, also from the Boo Crew collection. This is one of those that's not being repoured. This is also the one of the ones that didn't sell out initially right away. I'm not sure why they're not reporting this one. It might have to do with not being able to access more of the fragrance oils for this particular blend. I love this one. It is slightly perfumey, but it also has some plum in it. And I'm a huge fan of plum. This is a really nice plum in this one. I love this. I don't know. I wish they would bring this back. Maybe they can get their hands on more of the fragrance oils to bring it back next year, but this is one of those that I would say, yes, you should report it in the future. And then the last one is my little devil. So this was my favorite out of the collection. I really like the fragrance, but I think for me it was the label here, because we have a little pug, the cutie patootie little devil, little ruckus here. Oh my gosh, so cute. Yeah, I'm a sucker for all of the pug things, because I don't know, when you get a pug, you kind of lose your marbles. And yeah, I love this. It's really good. That will be a repurchase for me. If we're allowed to purchase more than one, this particular label is the only one that I would get like 2 of. I don't know if there's going to be a limit this next go around. There might be, so I may just be able to get one, but I love the label on that one. So good. And then the last 2 candles are 2 candles that were gifted to me by one of my amazing girlfriends, Faith. She gave me 2 of the Maison Margiela replica candles. If you know anything about Maison Margiela, you know that they're a fragrance house. They also do fashion, but anyway, they're not cruelty free. And personally, I do choose to shop cruelty-free. So while I love these fragrances, I just recently reviewed the On a Date. While I love these fragrances, I won't be repurchasing these candles, but they have an amazing performance. I really wish that Maison Margiela would choose to go cruelty-free, but I don't know. There's a lot of fragrance houses that just will not do it. So, I mean, listen, they make a lot of money selling in markets where the animal testing is still required. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess I get it. Like, pulling out of those markets would be a hit to their bottom line. But I don't know. I like companies that take a stand against that kind of stuff. So, but for what it's worth, if you're not cruelty free and you want to splurge on some candles, these are the best burning mineral wax candles. And mineral wax is paraffin, you guys. These are the best like paraffin candles that I've ever burned in my life. So I have the On a Date, and then I have the When the Rain Stops. When the Rain Stops will have a formal review tomorrow, but like I said, this one I just recently reviewed. It's incredibly beautiful. There is a really deep, dark, like rich, like black baccarat rose note in this one. Also, there's some patchouli in here. It's really good patchouli, but I love it. And the strength and throw of these, wild. And they are 165 grams or 5.82 ounces. And the full retail price is $72. I know. I can already see it in the comments now. There is no way that I would ever spend that much money on a candle. And I would say there was a time where I would also have said that, but then I did start splurging on some higher end candles like the LAFCO, the Nest, the Voluspa, and you know what? Sometimes it is worth splurging on it, but it has to be something that is worthwhile to you, right? That's not going to be the case for everybody, but if something burns really well, if it's a really beautiful fragrance that I can't find anywhere else, then I'll make an exception, right? But is that going to be the norm for me? No. I am, for the most part, when I'm shopping for candles, I'm always looking for a sale. So even when I'm buying these high-end luxury candles, it's going to be during a sale. Like, that's why I get the Voluspa candles over at Bloomingdale's, because they usually have a 20 or 25% off sale. And like I said, they have decent cash back. Just the other day on Rakuten, Bloomingdale's was 10% cash back. And these candles were 25% off. So, I don't know. But if you do want to splurge on a really beautiful gift for someone and you want like a luxury candle, I think those Maison Margiela candles are worth checking out. But again, if you're cruelty-free, you're going to want to refrain because Maison Margiela is not cruelty-free. But I do really appreciate my friend Faith, you know, thinking of me and gifting me these candles. It was incredibly generous, and I am enjoying the heck out of them. And yeah, when they're gone, however, they will be gone for me. But I am, you better believe I am on the lookout for some dupes here. I do know that Dossier, which is a dupe brand that I head up quite a bit for perfumes from, you know, dupes, if you will, from non-cruelty-free companies. So I know that Dossier makes candles, so I might check them out and, I don't know, maybe send them an email or something being like, hey, could you recreate these candles from Maison Margiela? That'd be fantastic. Anyway, next, well, lastly, I guess I should say, let's talk about some Scentsy. All right, we've got the Bucket O Melts, so let's go through. I did use one of the cubes this week from this, what was this? The Scentsy Orange and Spice and Everything Nice brick from, was it last holiday season? Or was it even the season before that? I don't remember. I am not a Scentsy consultant. I am a Scentsy consumer. So yeah, ask my friend Lisa. She is the one who I purchased all of my Scentsy from. She's also my best friend and just generally a beautiful human being. Anyway, Lisa and I, by the way, did share our collab on Monday, the first day of fall. If you missed it, I'll link it down below. But yeah, if you have any questions about this one, I would ask Lisa because I don't know. All right, this was another week of mostly melting the same things. I just recently shared a Scentsy order where I got multiple sets of the Harvest collection and some other bars. But yeah, I love that Harvest collection, you guys. And so I've kind of been reaching for the same things over and over again because I just really like the vibe of what that Harvest collection is giving me. Also combine that with some of my other staples for the fall, like apples and oats. It's been smelling amazing in here. All right. First one is the Spiced Pecan Creme, which is so good. This is perfectly nutty. There we go. Perfectly nutty. There is definitely like a caramel vibe to this one, which sometimes when I'm walking past it, I'm like, meh, But usually I'm like, that smells really good. But every once in a while, the caramel kind of like grabs me and makes me think, is it too much caramel? But then as I walk away and it kind of dissipates a little bit more, I'm like, no, it's okay. But I do smell some caramel in this one. So if you are caramel averse, you might want to keep that in mind. All right, since we've already mentioned it, we have apples and oats, and we have 2 apples and oats that were finished this week. This is my Fancy Lady oatmeal fragrance. I love it. It's a really beautiful baked apple, and you do really smell that oatmeal note in here as well. This came back for Bring Back My Bar this last go around, and remember I told you, I said, listen, I've been talking about this fragrance for years. When it comes back, you need to try it, you need to stock up on it, or you need to put it in your club. So hopefully you did. Raise your hand if you followed my advice. It's so good, you guys. I just absolutely adore that one. I can't get enough of it. This is another one that I can't get enough of. It is the Almond Croissant. By the way, I'm gonna place an order at Kay's. Kay's is a vendor wax. It's a small business. Anyway, Kay's offers loaves. I've ordered from Kay's before. I actually really liked their wax, so I'm gonna go back because they have a dupe for this, and they also have some other yummy gourmands. And I also saw that they had a oil of Olay, like the original oil of Olay beauty fluid. They had that fragrance in a wax melt, and I really want to try that one from her, especially because my Oma wore the original like oil of Olay beauty fluid basically her entire life. So that fragrance is really nostalgic for me, and I would love to have that like in the bathroom or like in the bedroom. So yeah, anyway, moral of the story is I need to place an order with K's. The shipping is it's a little nuts, and so I feel like that's the only thing that has kept me from like hitting, you know, place order. I've had my cart together for a little while here, but I just need to do it. Anyway, I want to try their dupe of this almond croissant because this is a holy grail to me. This recently came back in the clearance section. I don't know why, but when it did, I think I bought like 15 bars. Did I need 15 bars? No, because I get 2 in my club every 3 months and I have a little bit of a backup stash, but there was just no way that I could pass that up. No way. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry that I just said that out loud. Okay, Perk Me Up. This was definitely a bring back my bar because that's what it says on the little label there. I really like Perk Me Up. It is a really nice, it's a nice coffee. In fact, actually, this is what I have in the kitchen right now. I use the last few bars like around the kitchen and entryway area. Smells really good. Okay, exotic vanilla. I'm kind of slowly working my way through this one because I'm using this exotic vanilla in the downstairs powder room. This is amazing. This is also a part of the Harvest collection. This is the lightest out of that collection. But listen, it's still phenomenal. I wish it was a stronger. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I wish this was stronger. But this smells so much like warm vanilla sugar. A little bit more perfumey than warm vanilla sugar, but a lot like it. And I love that. I love that fragrance. So this is great in a smaller room or like a powder room, but this doesn't have a ton of oomph, which is a little bit of a bummer. It's a lot of a bummer, but it's still a great fragrance. So anyway, I still have more in here, so I'm not gonna throw that away, but I also used 2 cubes of, we all know what this is. It's my beloved Happy Birthday. So yeah, happy birthday. What is this? Moonlight Whisper. Where did this come from? Hold please. When did I put this in here? When did I buy this? Does anyone know when I got this? This just randomly is in the bottom of my bucket and I don't know when or why, or I mean, obviously I put this in here, but when did I grab this and from where? I didn't even know that I owned this. Kind of like it. This is interesting. Anyway, back to Happy Birthday. We all know how I feel about Happy Birthday. It's in my club. It's still got a lot of bars of this in there. I should probably maybe scale back by like a bar or 2 to make a little bit of room for something else, but I always regret doing that. So I think we'll just probably keep things as they are right now. It seems to be a safe bet, but that is everything that I have for you this week. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for just taking the time to watch because I know these videos are long. So Alf and I appreciate your support. We hope you have an absolutely amazing weekend. And we cannot wait to see what you guys are burning and melting in the comments below. So let us know. And Alf, is there anything you'd like to say? No? He is a man of few words. Just kidding. He has a lot of words when there's squirrels in the yard or airplanes in the sky. Oh, this man hates an airplane. Right, buddy? These guys are the worst. How dare they fly over your airspace? The audacity. All right, have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.